Hello and welcome to this gentle chair yoga practice sponsored by the Corktown Health Center. So today's practice will be done completely seated, but I will give some options if you do want to stand. So if you have a job where you sit all day and you want to get up and move around, I'll give some opportunities for that as well. So to start, just get comfortable. You might kind of shift around for a moment, settle in. Think about sitting near the front of your chair, if that's comfortable, and uncrossing your legs, placing both feet firmly on the floor. I'm going to offer a mudra to start. A mudra is a hand position. And with the events of the last 24 hours, I know a lot of us are feeling very shaken, very confused, very angry, stressed, overwhelmed. And so this mudra is a mudra to help ground us, calm the energy. So it's making a fist, a gentle fist with the thumbs in. So we pull our thumbs in and then gently close our fingers over our thumbs and then bring our hands down, knuckles down on our thighs. This is called Adi Mudra, A-D-I. And the thumb connects with our heart. And drawing in like this, the thumb inside the fingers, can have a very calming effect on our nervous system. Now take a moment, maybe close your eyes or gaze softly down. Just noticing what is going on in your body at this moment. No right or wrong. Where do you feel sensation? Where feels neutral or it's hard to feel sensation? All parts of your body, all experiences are valid. And there's some parts that just might be hard to notice. I give the example of earlobes or, maybe a toe. Unless, of course, you have an injury, right? And then you might really notice your big toe if you recently broke it or stubbed it or something like that. So just noticing all range of experience. You might notice tension. You might notice softness. Perhaps noticing temperature. Are there areas of your body that feel warm or areas that feel cold? Or again, areas that might be hard to notice any temperature at all. Now take a moment to check in with any emotions that you're feeling right now. No right or wrong. Letting yourself feel them, letting yourself name them. See if there might be any place where you feel the emotions in your body. So, for example, the idea of feeling nervous and having butterflies in your stomach, or feeling stress and feeling shoulders tightening up or your jaw clenching. And if it's hard to feel emotions in your body showing up in any way, that's okay too. Just take a moment to check in. And if emotions start to feel overwhelming, perhaps moving to an area of the body that you earlier identified as neutral. just gently rest your attention on that part of the body. And it's not to ignore or force out your emotions, but we can move to something else if they get too overwhelming. You want to recognize them, but try not to let them overwhelm us. So another tool we can use to help us when we're feeling dysregulated and we're feeling overwhelmed is the breath. So notice your breath now, just your natural breath, your inhale and your exhale. And your mind might wander to various thoughts or worries, or maybe those emotions that could feel strong. And if that happens, recognizing those, acknowledging them, not forcing them out, but see if you can gently let them pass, like clouds pass through the sky. Come back to your breath if your mind wanders. But giving yourself compassion for whatever you're thinking or feeling right now. We're going to take a few more moments here, and you can continue to hold the mudra, Adi Mudra, where your thumb is in, your fingers are over. Or if this is feeling uncomfortable for your hands, feel free to release at any time. If it feels okay now, begin to lengthen and deepen your breath. Perhaps breathing in and out through your nose. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you can always inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Slowly release the mudra and place one hand on your belly and one on your heart. And eyes could remain closed, or you could softly gaze down and just feel slight movement under your hands as you breathe. As you inhale, letting your belly rise, your chest rise, your ribs expand out. And then as you exhale, the chest and the belly fall slightly, the ribs draw in. So we're expanding on our inhales as our lungs fill with air, and gently contracting on our exhales as we empty the lungs. A few more breaths here like this, settling into our deep diaphragmatic breath. You always want to check in with this breath and see that it's still maintaining this pace, this step, and if it's not, if it's getting shallow or you're holding your breath, that can be a sign to change what you're doing in the body. Take a break or maybe take a different version of the pose. Now take a moment to set an intention for your practice. Think about putting it in the present tense, keeping it short and simple, not overthinking it. And then slowly release your hands down to your lap. Check in with your posture. If you notice your spine is rounded, see if you can sit nice and tall without being rigid. And having patience for yourself and compassion, not beating yourself up, just noticing and being gentle with whatever it is. We're going to begin to bring in some movement now. We're going to inhale and really reach the top of our head up and lengthen our neck. Exhale, drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Just notice how this feels on the left side of your neck and also on the right. One more breath here. And when you're ready, inhale and come up. Lift up, lengthen up through the top of your head. Exhale, left ear towards the left shoulder. Try to keep the shoulders relaxing down. Notice how this side feels. It could be very different. It's normal that there's differences in our body side to side. Next, inhale, slowly lift your head up. We're going to do that one more time with an additional option. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. So the ear is moving down rather than the shoulder moving up. And now check in with how this feels. If it's too intense, you can always stop doing it and come back to this. But maybe you bring your right hand gently on your head on the side, and then your left fingertips down and out. So there's an angle, a diagonal line from your left fingertips all the way up to the side of your neck to your right fingertips on the side of your head. Breathe here. Again, you can always release the hands back down to your lap if this is too much. Notice, see how this changes things. If you are using your hands, slowly release them, and then very slowly lift your head back up. Exhale your left ear towards your left shoulder. Relax the shoulder down, not rushing. Take your time to settle in and just notice. And then maybe you try your hand on your head. Right fingertips reach out at an angle. Just see how this feels. So maybe it feels good to do this on one side but not the other. That's okay. You still keep the shoulders moving down. And you keep the jaw soft and the rest of the spine nice and tall. When you are ready, if you're using your hands, slowly release them and then slowly lift the head. So we'll work a little bit more with the neck. We're going to work with some very small neck circles. So we're not throwing our head back. We're thinking about tracing a circle in the air in front of us with the tip of our nose. So if you were, to lift your head way up, lift your head back, it would be turning into like a really long oval. We want it more like a circle. So it's just a small movement because we want to be very careful with our neck. So if this doesn't feel good, or if again you can't maintain that deep, even breath, you can always pause, take a break, change it up, maybe go slower or smaller circles. So first we'll start with some clockwise circles and we'll connect them with our breath. Take an inhale. With your exhale, drop your nose slightly down and to the right, down to 6 o'clock, and then over and up to 9, back to 12. Exhale, dropping down to 6, inhale, coming back up to 12. Close your eyes here if you want, continue to move. Very slow, like you're moving in slow motion. Letting your breath guide you. Do one more this direction. back to center. Sit tall for a moment. And then we're going to go counterclockwise. So inhale at 12 with your nose. Exhale, trace a very small circle. 9 o'clock, down to 6. Inhale, coming up to 3. And then to 12. Exhale, dropping down. Chin is dropping down, but not all the way to your chest. With your inhale, your chin is lifting a little. You're not throwing your head back. Continue to move at your own pace. Slow and gentle. One more small circle. When you're ready, take your time, come back to center. So let's bring the arms into our movements now. So we're going to inhale our arms up, palms facing forward. Try to keep the shoulders soft. They're going to lift up. They do when we lift our arms. But if they're really hunching up by our ears, can create a little bit of space and softness here, still lengthening our neck. If this doesn't feel good to lift your arms straight up, they always can be at more of an angle. One more breath here. And then with your next exhale, bend your elbows, bring your arms out like goalposts or like cactus. And then take a couple of breaths here, thinking about breathing across your shoulders. Pulling your shoulder blades together on your back. And then with your next inhale, straighten your arms and press your hands away. So you're flexing your hands like you're pressing on imaginary walls. Shoulders are dropping down here. If you need to, you can have a little bend in your elbows. The arms don't have to be perfectly straight. And if you tend to hyperextend and lock your elbows, think about a little micro bend. One more breath. You might be getting to feel a little burn in your arms and in your shoulders. And exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Take a moment here to repeat your intention. Find your deep breath. If it's wandered away, gently come back to it. Release your hands down. So we're going to go through that sequence again, a little faster this time. One breath, one movement. Inhale, the arms reach up, palms forward, neck long. Exhale, bend the elbows, broaden across your collarbones. Inhale, straighten the arms, press an imaginary wall away. Exhale, hands to heart center. Release the hands down. We'll do it again. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, press away. Exhale, hands to heart center. Pause here for a moment. Release your hands. Let's move to the legs now. So you might push your chair back up against a wall to make sure it won't slide around. It's best to do this in a chair that doesn't have wheels. You're going to lift your right leg out in front of you, and you can always bend your knee. And if it's not comfortable to keep your right leg lifted, you could rest it on a stack of books or an ottoman, cushions, anything that's comfortable, yoga block. And then inhale and point, and exhale, flex your foot. Try to sit up still, nice and tall. Keep moving your ankle. One more. And let's take a break for a moment. We're going to do one more thing with the ankle, but You might have noticed your leg kind of firing up, maybe your hip flexor. So now we're going to lift the leg again. It could be knee bent, could be heel resting on a support. And we're going to do ankle circles. So first, pick one direction. Try to keep your legs steady so the movement is coming from your ankle. Still sitting tall, and then switch direction. Breath deep and even. And then really maybe reach up, flex the foot if that's comfortable. Really activate the leg. Take a breath here, sit tall. And then exhale, release. So just take a moment to sit and notice the difference from side to side. It could feel really different. And then we're going to work with the other side. So straighten the left leg out, lifting the foot, flexing the foot to start. Put support under your foot if you need to, bend your knee. You could always keep the heel on the ground and just have the toes lifted. So we would inhale and point, exhale, flex. So I'm doing this one with my foot staying really nice and low to the ground. So I'm not fatiguing my leg as much if you're taking care of your leg or your hips. If it feels okay to have the leg more lifted, always do that. Thinking about engaging your core here, going nice and tall. One more. And let's take a little break, rest for a moment, and then we'll lift the leg again and do some ankle circles. Really trying to isolate that movement in your ankle. So I notice that my whole leg wants to move, right? But we're just working with the ankle right now. And then switch the direction. And you might just observe if there's limited mobility. Just notice that. Try to notice it without judgment. One more. And then bend the knee up, release the leg. So now we're going to purposely move the whole leg. So before we were just isolating circles in the ankle. Now we're going to try the whole leg. And this could be with knee bent or leg more straight. So we're going to move outward. Try to move nice and slow. And then switch direction. And do a few more going outwards. So we're working on opening up the hips a little here, just getting some external rotation. And then let the legs settle. Still trying to sit up nice and tall. If you have arms on your chair, it could be nice to hold on to them for this, or down low at the seat. Lift the knee. Leg can be straight or bent, and do some circles outwards. So the knee could be leading the circles, or the foot. So I'll sit tall. Let's switch the direction. See how your breath is. Do you need to go slower with the movement, or do you need to change the movement? Let's end with a few going out again. Take a break if you need to. We'll rest now. And we'll bring the soles of the feet together and open the knees wide. So you might really need to scoot near the front of your chair. This could be easier to do with a chair that doesn't have arms. And you want to make sure that you're gently engaging your core here and you're not over tilting your pelvis back and rounding in the low back or over tilting it forward. So find that kind of neutral pelvic position, gently opening the knees, feet together on the floor. You could also rest the feet on a block or a cushion here. It could feel nice and supported. So I'm going to grab a yoga block. Oh, that feels much better for me. So always, be open to using props, and there's lots of props that you can use around your house. And take a few breaths here. So this is a hip opener, butterfly pose or bound angle, Baddha Konasana, and opens the groins and does external rotation of the hips. If you feel like you want more sensation, you might begin to fold forward here, hinging from your hips. Now, if this doesn't feel good or you're taking care of your low back, you could stay more upright like me. Close your eyes here or gaze softly down. Just gently breathe in and out. If your mind's wandered off, with compassion, with gentleness, come back to your inhale and your exhale. Acknowledging the thought, letting it pass like a cloud in the sky. If you're folded forward, slowly lift up. We're going to slowly lift the feet, place the footprints back on the floor. Sit up nice and tall. And we'll just end with a few moments with some breathing, as well as the option to use the Adi Mudra again. So again, that mudra is bringing the thumb into the palms and then the fingers gently wrap over the thumbs. Knuckles down on your legs. Sitting up nice and tall here. Eyes could close or gaze softly down. Notice your breath. Follow it in and out. Begin to count the length of your inhale and the length of your exhale. Could be the same, they could be different. There's no one number, it needs to be just notice. And now see if you can begin to lengthen your exhale. So just for example, let's say your inhale is a count of 4, maybe making your exhale a count of 5, as long as that doesn't feel straining. Just making the exhale maybe 1 or 2 counts longer than your inhale. If it feels comfortable to make the exhale even longer, could do that, maybe double the length of the inhale, but whatever number you choose, whatever count, try not to strain or hold the breath. Still trying to get a smooth, deep breath that feels comfortable, that feels safe. Let's take 3 more breaths like this. And whenever you're ready, release the mudra, release the counting of the breath. Place your hands over your heart. Let's just take a deep inhale through the nose. And exhale, side out through the mouth. Take a moment to connect with your heart, connect with your intention. Notice how you feel. The longer exhale has a very soothing and calming effect on our nervous system. And thank you for for joining me.